The nightmare of Donald Trump's mass deportation policies is upon us. As expected, these ICE raids aren't just targeting undocumented immigrants, but are sweeping up U.S. citizens as well. One of the most egregious examples involves a military veteran, a Puerto Rican and American citizen, who was detained by ICE agents without a warrant. Let's be clear. This is racial profiling at its worst, and it underscores the systemic racism embedded in these policies. According to reports from the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, this veteran's only crime was that he didn't look white. It's important to recognize the hypocrisy here. No one is coming to white Americans demanding to see their papers or proof of citizenship. No one is questioning their right to exist in this country. But for people of color, it's an entirely different story. And let's not forget, Puerto Ricans are American citizens by birth. The fact that this even happened shows how deeply rooted racism is in the execution of these deportation policies. Let's break this down further. According to Fox 8's report, ICE agents raided a New Jersey seafood store and detained multiple individuals, including a U.S. military veteran. These agents entered the establishment without a warrant, which is a direct violation of the Fourth Amendment. Detainment is a form of arrest, and arresting a citizen without probable cause or legal justification is unconstitutional. But why did this happen? The answer lies in racial profiling. The veteran detained was Hispanic. The store owner, Luis Janto, recounted that 10 to 12 ICE agents stormed into the retail area. They claimed they were responding to complaints, but offered no clarity on what those complaints entailed. Janto stated, "I asked them what documentation they were looking for, and they said it was a license or a passport. Who walks around with a passport?" This is an excellent point. Most Americans don't carry their passports on a day-to-day basis. But the issue runs deeper. The ICE agents selectively targeted Hispanic workers, bypassing white and Portuguese employees entirely. This wasn't about enforcing immigration laws. It was about harassing people of color. One of the detained individuals was a Puerto Rican military veteran who works as the manager of the seafood warehouse. Janto noted, "It looked to me like they were specifically going after certain kinds of people." This observation is critical. If the raid's goal was to address complaints about the business or its employees, why weren't all workers questioned? Why weren't the white workers or the Portuguese workers asked for documentation? The answer is simple. This was a racist roundup disguised as law enforcement. The Newark mayor, Ras Baraka, released a strong statement condemning these actions. He called the raid a plain violation of the Fourth Amendment, which guarantees people the right to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. Baraka emphasized that no warrants were produced and citizens, not just undocumented residents, were detained. He declared, "Newark will not stand idly while people are being unlawfully terrorized." Let's dissect this further. The Fourth Amendment is supposed to be a cornerstone of American democracy. It ensures that government authorities cannot intrude into people's lives without proper legal justification. The fact that ICE agents conducted this raid without a warrant is not just a breach of constitutional rights, it's a blatant show of authoritarianism. Yet, the people who often tout their allegiance to the Constitution, Republicans who carry pocket constitutions like props, are nowhere to be found in this conversation. Their silence speaks volumes about their priorities. What we're witnessing here is a fascist playbook in action. It's not just about targeting undocumented immigrants. It's about creating a culture of fear among all people of color. By selectively targeting Hispanic workers while ignoring their white counterparts, ICE is sending a clear message: if you don't look white, you're a suspect. This is white supremacy masquerading as law enforcement. The implications of these actions are devastating. First, they harm small businesses like the seafood store in Newark. These businesses rely on their employees, many of whom are immigrants, to function. When ICE raids disrupt their operations, it's not just the workers who suffer. The business owners and local economy also take a hit. Second, and more importantly, these raids destroy lives. The people targeted by ICE are often hardworking individuals who contribute to their communities. They pay taxes, support their families, and enrich the cultural fabric of this nation. The idea that they're somehow a threat to America is not just wrong, it's a lie. Consider this. These individuals are being labeled as criminals simply for existing. They're not engaged in illegal activities. They're working in seafood warehouses, grocery stores, and other essential industries. They're doing jobs that keep this country running. Yet they're being treated like enemies of the state. This narrative of criminality is a smokescreen to justify racist policies. Let's also talk about the broader historical context. The slogans being used to defend these actions, America First and Make America Great Again, are recycled from America's dark past. In the 1930s and 1940s, these phrases were associated with Nazi sympathizers and white supremacists. Today, they're being weaponized to justify mass deportations and racial profiling. This isn't a coincidence. It's a deliberate strategy to stoke fear and division. The Newark mayor's statement is a powerful reminder of what's at stake. He announced plans to hold a press conference in alliance with partners committed to defending civil and human rights. This is the kind of leadership we need in the face of authoritarian policies. It's not enough to condemn these actions. We must actively resist them. That means supporting organizations that fight for immigrant rights, holding elected officials accountable, and demanding transparency from agencies like ICE. Let's be clear, this isn't just about immigrants. It's about the kind of country we want to be. Do we want to live in a nation where people are harassed and detained based on their skin color? Where constitutional rights are trampled in the name of security? Or do we want to uphold the values of equality, justice, and freedom for all? The choice is ours. In conclusion, the ICE raid in Newark is a chilling example of how far this administration's policies have gone. It's a stark reminder that no one is safe when authoritarianism takes root. If we don't stand up now, we risk losing the very freedoms that define us as a nation. So, to everyone watching or listening, this is your call to action. Speak out, get involved, and fight back against these injustices. Our democracy depends on it.